This is a story of Dave and Sharon finally living their dreams of sailing to the Caribbean and beyond. It all started with a conversation while raking leaves. Instead of being tied to one place, we decided to leave everything behind and begin a life of adventure. Our daughters were out of high school and it was time to move on. We bought a sailboat, which was an Amel Mango, and spent time getting it ready for our adventures. Join us while we share our adventures from getting the boat ready and embarking on our cruising life.
We started our sailboat search with a list of sailboats that met our criteria. After choosing to look at Amel Mangoes, we headed to Florida and drove to see our first boat. We're in Florida and it's raining and sunshine all at once.
The only Amel Mango we found for sale in the United States was called the Mango Special, which was built specifically for Henri Amel. It was docked on a canal off the New River in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So let's take a tour.
The boat was certainly a special when it was built. All of the hardware, winches, mast, and boom were oversized compared to regular Mangos. The cockpit winches for the general sheets had DC motors. In other words, they were motorized. It had a lot more instruments and the inside was fancier.
Good heavy cleat system, big storage lot.
One of the problems with the boat is that none of the electronics worked. The boat interior was completely full of mold on cushions, wood, cubby holes, and so on.
The galley setup was different than the standard Mango. Where there is normally a settee in the companionway, they changed it over to be a workbench and tool cabinet.
We considered buying the boat because it was the only Mango available at the time in the U.S. Not having experience working on a boat this size, I completely underestimated the time it would take to have it ready for cruising and live aboard. Thinking maybe 2 years. It would need a lot more time than that. The boat broker showing us the Mango Special probably could see the disappointment in our eyes, especially Sharon's over the condition of the boat. So he talked us into seeing a newer Morgan Out Islander 46 that was still within our price range. Let's take a tour of that boat. It has a soft dodger and a small center cockpit.
A lot of water.
Just a little water. hatchway to the...
This one has an aft companionway stable into the deck.
Oh, I see that. That's convenient.
davits. Get davits. They're right there.
Yeah, take a picture.
C80, so that's probably about 6 years old.
What is it?
Radar and GPS.
Geocharter. Stuff.
The ice block.
So this floor has been replaced. This is not wood. This is a composite. So the boats are doing now. They're putting composite floors in. They look nice.
Nice, clean interior. Teak woodwork.
So what are your thoughts on the size of this boat?
It is big for a 46er.
Decent sized galley.
It's not
Yeah,
too small.
no, not yet.
So this here is like the parallel.
Yeah, that'd be like the
He kept calling it a parlor. Grandmother's called it a parlor.
Call it a parlor. Whatever you feel comfortable with is fine. That table goes down, makes another double berth there.
Uh-huh.
With 2 cabins plus sleeping stations.
All fully working electronics.
People cruising on the boat, a little bit more cruising. They actually, this boat was built in Florida, sailed across the oceans, spent most of its life in Europe. And people bought it in Europe. After a while,
Separate aft beds unless you want to sleep crosswise behind the ladder. The aft head had a separate shower area and a mini bathtub. Looks like a great place to give a dog a bath, which is about all you could fit in there.
this is your engine access right here. Good size engine.
For that.
It's the engine room.
Yeah, it's the engine.
Yeah.
Typical engine room, accessible by lifting the companionway stairs and side panel. Very tight to get in and work around the motor. The nice thing about the boat is that it was newer and cleaner, but it didn't have most of the criteria we were looking for in a sailboat. It was nowhere near an even match to the Amel. We weren't interested.
Next up is an Amel Supermaramoon. These are easier to find for sale in the United States, as there were a substantially larger number of these built. Let's take a tour of this boat.
Now what I could show you is that I have a 39, which has a flat stern.
This boat has the sugar scoop with the dinghy stored on the stern of the boat. It also has a wind generator and plenty of solar.
Catch a big wave, it doesn't.
He's got the furling set up for
He's got 2 furlings.
The cockpit has a backless captain's seat, which could be tiring on long passages. The dash has all the gauges and electronics for sailing and cruising. A temporary canvas dodger without side curtains seems to be the only protection from the sun and rain.
No. Every commercial ship is required to broadcast their position. Commercial vessels, actually all vessels, are required to keep a lookout 24/7 when they're at sea. But if you just say, hey, big ship, and they don't feel like answering you, they won't answer you. But if you say, hey, Santa Maria traveling, at 8 knots on course 161 degrees, they're going to answer you.
Yeah.
Because they're required to, and you know who they are. So It's a much better system now. It tells you the name of the ship, it tells you the course that's
the
the
lane.
speed.
And this is what
Instead of down below. The Marigold is more, the Mango is more like this. The standard Mango is more like this.
The interior is similar to a Mango, where it has plenty of storage space. The parlor is smaller and less room for people than the Mango has.
That's a dehumidifier, just to keep humidity out.
While they're sitting here.
While it's sitting there. That's why the other boat smells. See, that's refrigerator.
the nav station is in great condition with fairly updated instrumentation.
The other boat that you saw had a over and under refrigerator, a high refrigerator here. Sailboat's over here, and things have changed around the place. He's got everything hooked up to a display here, and a computer, so everything's fine. It's a little,
That's the stuff I can do.
The aft cabin has plenty of space for sleeping. The galley is small and compact with a refrigerator under the counter and is a bit narrower than the galley on a Mango. The bow cabin has loads of storage space and both heads are adequate in size with deep sinks to wash clothes if need be. It holds 1,000 liters of water with a convenient float gauge. The difference of that one from a Mango is the Mango holds 1,500 liters of water with the float gauge.
This is a really nice boat, well kept up. We lightly considered going with this one, but decided we didn't want to eat that much into our sailing funds for the initial purchase of the boat. This boat was located in a very nice part of Fort Lauderdale.